Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News. I've got a Saturday morning video for you. Shanae is out here on the Talking It Out podcast with Brian and Mike and had a few interesting things to say. I'm going to get into all of this, and if you're wondering how my Vegas trip is going, we were going to go out last night, but passed out watching 2020. Can you guys relate to that? Friday night in Vegas, we were getting ready to go out. We had our early dinner at 5. We were like, we'll get ready, we'll go out. And then we ended up watching a show about a cult and woke up this morning quite refreshed, actually. It was very nice. All right, no one cares about that. So we're going to get into this. Someone has commented, can't believe you gave Shanae a platform. Hashtag unfollow. Well, if you've been a part of my channel, we have a lot of new people. We have a couple thousand new people that showed up this week. Just so you guys know, we like to have conversations. We like to understand why people think the way that they do. We don't think too many people are irredeemable, and I don't mind the show, the podcast, or ABC giving problematic people platforms, good alliteration there, because, and I understand this is coming from a place of privilege. Of course, Dave, you're not going to be triggered by this. Well, I think it's good conversation to discuss why people think a certain way, their blind spots, their ignorances. And a lot of people don't realize this until they go on the show and realize, oh, I can't call people bitches and hoes. So we're going to get into all this. Does she apologize and all that info? But first, here's what I had for breakfast yesterday. Speaking of Shanae, my fiance ordered what is probably the most expensive plate of grits you're ever going to see in your lifetime. Leave a comment below and guess how much this plate of grits cost. But here it is. And then I got a cast iron blueberry.
Pancake.
That's a blueberry pancake.
I'm at the, Tasha, where are we?
Salt and Ivy.
We're at the Salt and Ivy at the Aria Casino. And we're going to dine with Shanae today, so we got some grits with shrimp.
Now, full disclosure, that was sarcasm. We didn't actually get the shrimp with grits. So here's just my overall comment as to why I enjoy making these videos. So this is what I left on their Instagram page after this person said, can't believe you gave her a platform. I wonder how far the cancel people will go. Y'all getting unfollows for platforming Shanae. I'm sure these people won't unfollow the producers who decided to keep her drama on the show's final edit. Will I get unfollowed for making a recap video of this podcast that talks about her? If so, good riddance. Even when we don't like someone's point of view, their ignorance, hate, or blind spots, we watch the show because it's an experiment on love, human condition, and sometimes growth. Maybe Shanae does go on Bachelor in Paradise, and maybe she does grow and learn, and maybe some audience members realize people like her exist. They try their best, even if it leads to a villain edit. Remorse and apologies shouldn't come under hostage situations. Clearly, if Shanae is sorry, she's proven that she isn't going to be quick to apologize. Maybe she needs more time for growth. Let's just play a few clips.
Got to talk about this shrimp. Like, what the hell was that all about?
Damn shrimp talk.
Again, it wasn't just about the shrimp. It wasn't about the damn hot tub. Elizabeth made me shrimp, as you guys, saw. And
wait, hold on. Time out. Did she make shrimp for you, or did she make shrimp for the rest of the house?
Exactly.
As well.
That's the question.
You took like half the shrimp.
She took like
half the shrimp.
Fine. So 8, yeah. So she made shrimp for the house. Again, there's how many people and 12 pieces of shrimp. I took 8. I'm sorry.
So there you go, folks. She's not remorseful about eating all the shrimp. Now, you wonder why, the Talking It Out is a Bachelor-approved podcast, so I actually had no thought whatsoever that Shanae was going to get put on Bachelor in Paradise, but now I'm pretty much guaranteeing that's what's going to happen. Otherwise, they wouldn't be having her make the rounds on the podcast here. This is her first time having an interview, and again, I'm not here to flip people's opinion on her. I'm just here to say she's probably more likely a regular person and less likely the villain we saw, as far as her identity being not just somebody who's going to start fights in every situation whatsoever. Is it problematic that she's maintained probably close to 0 friendships with anyone from the house? Yeah. But as we all know, we've all got friends that say, we've all got lady friends that say, oh, I'm not friends with other women. I relate more to men. So it's actually interesting that she would do this podcast, which I believe is the only podcast that's approved in Bachelor Nation that's just 2 guys doing it. I wonder if they wanted her, if they said, hey, maybe she'll relate more to the guys, which is fair. A lot of times it's like, when you're pursuing love, you're not competing against other women for it. So it was probably the worst scenario for her. And again, that's not me being apologetic for her. That's me just trying to break down what the heck actually went down.
Women tell all, right? You said that you didn't want to apologize, but do you have anything to say to the other women that you're not being interrupted right now? The floor is yours.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say to the other women?
Yeah, like I said, I wish I did give, those individuals a chance and didn't judge them so fast, right? We're all human, we make mistakes, but I am sorry for some of the actions, right? I am sorry that I caused so much drama. I'm sorry that, like the foul language, and I really do mean it. Like, I'm so carefree and lighthearted. It wasn't intentional, and it came across like that, and I am sorry.
All right, so that's the clip there on her being sorry. Now, those were the video clips I have, and now I'm going to play several audio clips. And by the way, I just save it in the comment sections. We don't want to hear about her. You get to decide whether you click on the video or not. I'm going to provide the content.
Been a lot easier, going through the process. Like, watching myself on TV was really hard, but getting that break when I got eliminated up to Women Tell All, it was like, wow, this feels good now. Not as many hate messages. I'm getting back on my life. But then Women Tell All was last night. I didn't think I was going to watch it, but I'm like, I have to. Like, let's see what they put together now. So yeah. I'm actually kind of glad I watched it.
And how was it different? Like, obviously you were there, you went through that, we all saw it. It was a lot. You got a lot thrown at you. How was it? Was there any difference between what you experienced live between watching it?
Yeah. What you guys saw, 2 hours of it was nothing compared to filming for 10 hours. So, I mean, I had the hot seat for probably 45 minutes.
Okay, so a 2-hour TV show is really like a 75-minute, content. They filmed for 10 hours. It was frustrating when Shanae went on the hot seat and we just saw everyone yelling at her. I mean, I'll go back to this, but we had Lindsay Wyndham told her to rot in Ohio, and then she had to apologize. Lindsay says, "You can rot in Ohio for all I care." And then Ohio said, "Now why am I in on it?" And she said, "My deepest apologies to the state of Ohio. I'm sure you're great besides the snow, rain, and Shanae." Yikes.
So maybe I think my screen time was 5 minutes. So 45 minutes of it was hard. I didn't want to be there. Yeah.
You don't want to be there, but glad you were there.
I didn't want to be there. Yeah.
Glad you were there, and we'll get into this a bit more. But just firstly, you got shitted on a lot, right? And so, glad you were there. But you just said something right there before we even get into the interview. You just mentioned, I want to see what they put together now. When you were watching the show back, did you feel that you were edited improperly?
Yeah, I mean, I said some things that were maybe harsh at the time, but in my, as I was filming, like, it was my humor is just so carefree and lighthearted. Calling them, I don't know if I can say this, but bitches. I didn't mean, like, intentionally, I did not mean like, hey, you're a bitch. Like, yes, you are being a bitch. I don't know, are you a bitch? But it was just so in the moment, it was fun. It was carefree. But
imagine that. Hey, honey, I don't think you're a bitch. You're just being a little bitchy.
There were things that happened that was like, you're a bitch.
So, wait, you got to explain it a bit.
All right, so we get it. We get the point here. So she's saying, whatever she's saying. All right, let's keep it going.
The way they do, right? But I was just trying to explain myself, from the Elizabeth situation, the Genevieve situation, the Sierra situation. Like, there was reasons behind it. I do think edits are really real. But again, it was so carefree and lighthearted in the moment. But when, playing it back, I was like, eek, like, ouch. I understand 100%. But I think how they didn't give me the time of day to talk about it, to listen. It was hard. Like I said, it was just hard to explain myself because of what you saw last night. That's what I got for 45 minutes straight.
So when Shanae first got in her beef with Elizabeth, and there's a lot to unpack here, folks. And again, you have to understand, because I hate it when I receive the comments, Dave, you're an ableist. You're forgiving of her. You're all this. You have to understand the dynamics that happen, right? So it's not as simple as someone says something bad, then they apologize for it. They have to digest what they said bad, right? They have to digest. So Elizabeth and Shanae got in a conversation, and Elizabeth tried to explain to Shanae, hey, ADHD, this is why I didn't respond to you, or this is why I feel a certain way, or I didn't notice, or auditory imports all these things, inputs. And then Shanae's response was essentially, hey, we all have a little ADHD. Now, broken clock is right twice a day. It was pretty ignorant to say that, but it did spur a lot of good conversations amongst the community, in my community specifically, about neurodivergency. My fiance Tasha talks about her ADHD, sort of like diagnosed later in life, and we talk about women that it doesn't present the same in men. We've had really good conversations about this. Shanae might have her own neurodivergent tendencies that are undiagnosed. She might not be able to have conversations with Elizabeth or others because her emotional intelligence, or whatever type of intelligence to articulate her feelings, isn't there. She might feel targeted because the second she said something, or the second she outed somebody, everyone was like, you need to apologize. Remember that everyone said, you need to apologize. Well, there's a lot of people, and this might not be the right term, that are sort of like counter dependent, right? And they'll choose flight versus fight and back away, or a combination of fight and flight, where you go, no, I'm not apologizing, and you immediately, walls went up. Zombie apocalypse, walls went up, nobody's getting in, I got to protect myself. And people will take that to the grave. We know of people, we've all got family members we don't talk to, or know somebody who doesn't talk to their dad or their mom, because rather than apologize and admit fault, they need to self-preserve. Now, that's a survival technique. I don't think Shanae's long gone with the apologies, but I think when put on the spot, it was easier for her to say, nope, F all of you, F this, I'm not apologizing. And now, with time away from the show, she's already starting to be like, okay, I am sorry for calling people bitches and hoes. I didn't mean that. I am sorry for this. But it's more complicated, and we like to put a timer on it. Well, you haven't apologized yet. You must not be sorry. Or a lot of people will say, what? She fake cried, and then she clearly wasn't sorry, so she lost all credibility. That may be true. It may be true with the audience that she has lost all credibility, but it doesn't mean she's not remorseful. It just means she's shown that she's not going to give away her true feelings to everybody up front, and there's something deeper going on. It's quite interesting if you ask me.
Yesterday.
And you mentioned earlier that some of the things you said were harsh. What specifically are you talking about? And are those things that you regret saying?
Right. So what? Bitches. I think I said whores. Whoops. I think those were the two. I think those were the only cuss words I said. But I do, I'm not saying you're a whore. In the moment, I'm just being funny. I'm just being, I was trying to have fun.
No one cares.
I did talk out loud a lot, right?
No one cares about that.
You're a whore. But in the moment, no, I did not mean that, and I am sorry for that.
Well, I'm sure some of the ladies would love to hear that you're sorry for that.
So she did apologize, and of course, I don't think anyone really cares too much about that, but let's go to her talking about her vulnerability and honesty, and the actual connection that she did have with Clayton. As we saw from this thumbnail I have, proof Clayton was forced to keep Shanae on the show. Someone said, wear blue in your next photo if you're forced to keep her, and then he wore blue, and then he says, that's a correct observation. Clayton wasn't forced to keep her on the show. He had a good connection with her, and when it was all said and done, I'm assuming he was like, I'm not gonna stick up for her, not if the whole world's against me right now. But he did have a connection with her.
All they showed, or a lot of what they showed, was the drama, and then the physical connection with you and Clay. Sure. They definitely showed the physical connection.
Yes, yeah.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
Obviously they asked Clayton on the tell-all, or somebody told Clayton, just be upfront and just say that you were, both physically, emotionally, and mentally attracted to Shanae. Just come out and say it. And I feel like we all saw that, right? I mean, can you talk a little bit more about, maybe what the fans didn't see on camera?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you guys saw, there was a lot of drama, but behind, after talking to Clayton about what's going on in the house. You know, he asked for openness, vulnerability, and openness, vulnerability, and honesty. I truly gave him all three. You know, I didn't want to go in to talk about drama the whole time, you know, I spent with him, because, you know, time is, you know, limitless. So he's the one that brought it to my attention, right? Shanae, what's going on? So I didn't want to lie to him. I was being 100% honest with him. And then, you know, after I told him about that, we opened up about, you know, myself, him. He sees me, he saw me, he likes me, he likes where this is going. So it was all there, right? Not just, you know, kissing and whatnot, but like.
So, right, there was definitely a physical, but, you know, of course there was more to it than that. He wouldn't have kept her along as long as he did. This is one of the most unique villains in that if it weren't for the other women, if it weren't for her relationship with the other women, the toxicity that existed there, she might have been, you know, top 5.
Came across on camera, because you did come across like a bitch at times. I ain't gonna lie to you.
All right, so the guys finally call her out. She did come across like a bitch, they say.
And I think that you have such a beautiful opportunity to everything that you tell us today to go out and prove. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have such a beautiful opportunity. So I want, despite what the haters say, because I think a lot of times people at home don't realize you're a human being, you know, and that you have feelings and that you go through things. And I can only imagine the shit storm that you're getting right now. But I want you to say, like, you have a beautiful opportunity to, like, just go out there and exude awesomeness and greatness. So I think that we'll see that. We'll see your words, whatever you say to us today, we'll see out via how you live your life.
Right. No, and that's what I want them to see. I mean, I'm not saying social media is like, that's my life, but I want people to go on social media, see my life. I'm funny. I am silly. I'm angry at times. I'm mad. I share my life on social media, like my friends, myself, my family, what I do for fun. That's me. So
All right. And our final clip.
And I was like, there's no way that Shanae likes Clayton. There was a point in time where I just said, okay, she trying to be that bitch. She wants the attention. She's getting it all. Was I wrong in that? Or were you
wrong.
Like there for Clayton?
No. So you want to know something funny? So I haven't watched many episodes of The Bachelor. I didn't even know there was a villain, like the name villain or the term villain. 100% honest. So when I got eliminated, my friend, you know, like they're sending me all these things like, Shanae, you're the villain of the season. Oh my God, what are you doing? And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? So I'm like going back at like looking, you know, at past season. I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, there's no way. Like, I didn't say anything bad. Whoops.
As you look back, did you feel that you were the villain?
Yes. I mean,
So you had.
All right, so we're going to leave it there. If anyone wants, they can go watch or listen to the full episode, Talking It Out podcast. Let me know, honestly, what you guys think. Obviously, there was a petition to keep her off the show. The petition didn't do too well. And then the comments were like, hey, look, I appreciate the effort we got, but 30,000 plus people petitioned for stalker Colton Underwood to not be on Netflix, and they didn't go through that. They didn't listen to them at all. Clearly, they're not going to listen to this. A couple hundred people, 1,000 people or so petitioning to keep Shanae off of Bachelor in Paradise really isn't much compared to the people that will watch out of curiosity. I personally love a redemption story, and I'm interested to see if she can make friends with anyone on Bachelor in Paradise, and wonder if it'll be a sort of moment of growth. Because what's more important to me, again, and I know that not everyone agrees with me on this, and I say the same thing about cancel culture versus counsel. What's more important to me is to see people grow and redeem, and know that we watched them and have hope for our family members, ourselves, to understand we're not going to be defined for the rest of our life on where we are today, but where we're going. Will she use this to self-reflect moving forward and realize that she does have some communication problems, that she does have a hard time making friends with the other women, and that, you know, there are some things she can work on? And will she overcome that villain edit? Oftentimes when people go on Bachelor in Paradise, they do. Sometimes their problems that they had spill over, but would be very interesting if that could be the case. I think it would be a net positive if she does go on the show, but we'll have to see. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. I'm not bought and paid for by the Bachelor producers. I'm just a fan of the show like you guys, and I'd like to see some more opportunity for growth, education, compassion, grace, those types of things. Let me know what you guys think. That's it for me today. Unless there's any breaking news, you'll catch me down at the Vegas pool. Try not to get too bad of a sunburn. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.